Anyone who has explored the ocean planet of 4546b in the video game Subnautica, the Reaper Leviathan is an unforgettable sight. It is a massive, terrifying sea creature that guards some of the most important areas of the map. As the first truly giant monster most players meet, the Reaper is a perfect mix of scary design, rich game history, and clever real-world biology. The design of the Reaper is carefully crafted to create a feeling of dread. It measures 55 meters long with a snake-like body and a pale face. Around its mouth are four massive mandibles which act like giant claws. It uses these to grab food and crush small submarines. Many marine biology fans compare its bright red and white colours to the real-life oarfish. The oarfish is a deep-sea creature on Earth that is very long and has striking red fins. However, the way the Reaper swims is different than a normal fish. Fish usually swim by moving their tails side to side, but the Reaper moves its body up and down. This is how marine mammals like whales and dolphins swim. Because of this, players often compare its huge body shape and movement to a basilosaurus. The basilosaurus is an extinct prehistoric whale that had a very long snake-like body. And finally, the empty black eyes of the Reaper give it the mindless, hungry look of a great white shark, showing that it is driven entirely by the need to eat. If you manage to scan the creature, the in-game PDA provides a wealth of information. It explains that the Reaper Leviathan is a top-level predator, and it is mostly muscle and brain with no real weaknesses. The scariest detail from the PDA is about its famous echoing roar. The loud roar of the Reaper is not just an angry yell, it is a form of echolocation. This means the creature uses sound to bounce off objects and map out its surroundings just like a bat or a dolphin. PDA clearly states that if you can hear the Reaper, it can already see you. Which is, yeah, I would believe it, considering the Reaper is nightmares in the game. You will mostly find them in the three main areas: the dunes, the mountains, and the crash zone. The crash zone is a sandy area around the crashed spaceship called the Aurora. The ship made a huge amount of noise and stirred up the sand when it crashed, which likely brought many Reapers to the area looking for an easy meal. When you enter the dunes, the PDA gives a chilling warning, where it tells you that it detects multiple Leviathan-class life forms in the region and asks you if you are sure whatever you are doing is worth the risk. Even though the Reaper is huge, it is not the biggest monster on the planet. The game history reveals a deeper story about the food chain. Longer before the Aurora crashed on the planet, an ancient race known as the Architects studied the world. They built bases deep underwater. Through scanned alien data, we learn about the Sea Dragon, which will get its own video, but it's getting a little mention here. The Sea Dragon is much larger than the Reaper and lives in the boiling hot lava lakes deep below the surface. According to the lore, the Sea Dragon would actually swim up to the surface, hunt Reaper Leviathans, and drag them all the way down to the lava caves. The player can actually find massive Reaper skeletons down in the lava lakes. This proves that even a monster as scary as the Reaper is just a small fish to something much bigger. There's always a bigger fish, etc., etc. The entire story of Subnautica revolves around a terrible sickness called the Carabacterium. This disease wiped out the ancient alien race and infected everything on the planet, including the Reapers. The Reapers were sick and dying, just like the smaller fish in the ocean. The story reaches its end when the player travels deep into the alien base. Here, they meet the ancient Sea Emperor Leviathan. Sea Emperor is peaceful and holds the key to the cure. The player helps the Sea Emperor hatch her babies, and once they hatch, they release a special substance called Enzyme 42 into the water. This enzyme spreads across the entire planet, and it cures the Kara infection completely. The Reaper Leviathans, along with every other living thing, are healed, and the ocean goes back to a healthy balance. With the planet safe, the player builds a rocket ship called the Neptune and blasts off into space. And the game ends with the player leaving the world behind, knowing that the Reaper Leviathans will continue to rule the shallow waters of 4546b, fierce and healthy once again.